Okay, so let's create one of the scenery inside the view. We will try to utilize some elements. Some of them may be unknown to you, kind of feel unfamiliar, but this way we can go kind of in and see small surface scratch of the view application, but it's also feel fun, just go and explore, create something. So what we do, we'll try to utilize as much elements we can without very complex, like we won't use it splines, but we'll probably use some other ones. So let's begin by creating terrain, and you can see the difference between standard terrain and fractal terrain. For this, I'll just use it standard right now. So right here it's terrain. Okay. When I need change shape of the terrain, I'll go edit object right here, and I'll just without using brushes, just click on icons, try to apply a different type of the terrain. Click OK when we're done. Let me stretch slightly. Okay, right here. I'll take my camera and reposition slightly. Next, let's go add some water. So I'm just click on element of the water right here. Next, what I want to do, it is go inside the editor for the water. And mostly if you start with basic, like this basic editor, just click on advanced material editor. Most tutorials will do in advanced material editor. We'll just scratch a little bit of the basic one because it's kind of limited stuff you can do there. So right here you can see form and default water. I'll select this layer, default water. Okay, I'll go to the transparency and set depth maybe to about 2 meters. Increase a little bit of reflectivity with angle. Go inside the bump and just set bump to 1. Click OK. Next we'll select terrain. We'll double time click right here, or you can click on icon edit material, either will open same. We have a default material. One, I want loaded predefined material, and I will select just default one. Okay, this is have a nice green rock and a little bit snow on the top. We'll leave it like this. Next, we'll add ecosystem, and we'll just add plants. Depending on library, what you have it with extreme, complete, or other ones, you may have a different one. So in this case, just select one that you think you like best. And normally I'm just click and drag and drop those plants. Okay, I'm going to add maybe some other plants as well. Okay, so when we're done, let's click OK. We can click populate. Okay, let's see some settings. So we're going to present densities. Okay, right here we have it populate. This is quite a bit, actually a large amount. So what I want to do, it is decrease the density, maybe decrease scaling. Okay. Let's also apply a couple things, shrink on lower densities, and maybe a little bit decay. Okay, so we'll have it a little bit more open right here. Click OK. Let's take camera and just move a little bit more far and up. So I want to see some water, land. Okay, next we'll go and open an atmosphere editor. Right here we have a pre-default atmosphere, but what I want to do, I want to switch this global radiosity. Ambient light switch to the little bit more saturated. We'll go to the clouds. Let's add a basic dark canvas clouds. Okay, we can also just slightly increase details for this. Okay, and maybe make a little bit more summary, so it will take opacity all away and density a little bit down. Okay, let's reduce cover, so we have to see some little bit sky between. Right here we'll need increase aerial perspective, so it's give it us a little bit more haze, as same as a little bit more on the fog. And quality boost is to the 0 for the hour settings. Right now it's kind of maybe unfamiliar looking all the settings. And again, this is with just scratching surface how it can be done. And when we start working more, we're going to atmosphere editor, terrain editor, you start to feel more familiar. And when you come back to this tutorial, maybe after all of this, you look and it says, I know everything. That is so easy. So you will understand. It's kind of interesting sometimes to do this and go back afterwards and look. So we'll click OK. Let's select sunlight. And I want to put it sun a little bit more towards camera. So we'll have this golden hour kind of lighting here. Let's go right here and a little bit down. So let's take a second. Let's render. Okay, one other nice option when you create properly composition is have a rule of 30. What is meaning? If you divide your screen on 3 parts, you want, for example, landscape occupied 1/3. And with view, it's kind of very nice because what you need to do, you can go inside options, right click, go to frame guides. So let's enable frame guide. And right here you have it options. You can display a save, and also you can display the field grid. So right now 4:3, let's click OK. And you notice right here we have a grid on our screen, which is have it 1/3. And you notice right here it's about what I want to display. I want to display in 1/3 the land and sky 2/3. Okay, and a save grid, it's mostly for video for all type of TV with overscan. With new, almost every used LEDs or LCD screens, and they don't do overscan, so this area is mostly not important. This is just to support all type CRT TVs. Okay, so right here we're done. Let's go right click. We'll go to the render options. We select the final render to screen. Let's select 800 by 450. Click OK. And let's render our first scenery by clicking render button. Okay, when you start rendering, it will be paused. You'll notice first your screen go black. This nothing is wrong. First is calculating the ambient lights and other light. So this is first pass, and after this it will go a second path. So it's very normal to have black screen and kind of going after. And after this, you notice right here when it's finished with these two, right now we start rendering sky with our final pass. Okay, so one interesting things when you record it at any time, if you want it, you can press escape, click. If you notice, you can pause your render. Okay, we can go back and you can resume render from the point you started. So this is kind of helpful. However, you notice right on the background, we don't have this pre-render, but it still be there. Again, this is display time. It's take quite a bit of time right now to render. And because I apply some good quality on the clouds and it takes some time to render. So overall, one thing kind of to be beware when you work with view and you pop up quality, because it's created very high realistic looking on the atmosphere. Even right here you can see how it's already this small part is rendered, but it will take some time to render. So I'm continue pausing this tutorial and we'll come back when this render complete. So right here we have it finished our render. It's kind of, let's look at what we have right now. We have it our display which has a resolution, how long it's taken to render, because I interrupt and resume, so it's show 54, but it's take a little bit longer than that. Okay, also we have a post render options opening for us, and you can disable this window if you don't want pop-up. But right here we can modify gamma correction, copy settings, and also apply some other. So let's click OK. Here is our image, and you notice in a render display we have options, so we can stock images. We can compare and look on them. We'll look on that options in post-production kind of tutorials. But overall, here's your first render scenery. You can maybe add some different objects. But welcome to View World, and I hope you're enjoying more by discovering this application.